Welcome back, everyone, to the After the Scales podcast, episode 92, presented by DJD Graphics. I'm Jacob Dove, along with Shaun Blight. On today's episode, we're going to have Colby Copeland out of Roseville, California, joining us. Races sprint cars out west. Just came off the Chili Bowl Nationals, so we're looking forward to joining him. Me and Shaun had a great week at the Chili Bowl. Thank you to everybody who took time to hang out with us and talk and enjoy incredible racing. So, Shaun, I know this was your second time, but I think we can agree that was some of the best racing we ever seen.
Yeah, this one absolutely destroyed last year, and I had a great time last year, but the on-track racing was absolutely phenomenal, especially Friday. I got to go back and watch that race again. Just, Kyle Larson won Monday night, which we all expected, but he didn't run away with the show. Briggs Danner was right there in case any mistakes were made. But after that, the racing just got better every single night. And Emerson Axsom, who, we both picked Dazen personally, but right before that A main started, we kind of looked at each other and thought, I don't know, Emerson just kind of felt like he was going to win. And then when Larson had that trouble, he never really looked back. There was a couple of mistakes where he almost gave it away, but he held on to it. And you know what? Good for him. I was super pumped for him personally. So he's finally got like a crown jewel victory. So good for him.
And a little PSA to our viewers watching. Me and Shaun did not plan on twinning in this, but we both wore the same shirt that Danny Sams, our buddy, was able to kindly gift us. Man, shout out to Danny. I know it sucks that what happened was not ideal. Didn't even get one lap in and had that crash. So we're hoping Danny has a better experience next year and comes back and gets a little bit more experience. But yeah, it was a credible week. I mean, on Sunday, we both were there the whole day for practice, and then every prelim night. I mean, I thought the Blake Hahn night winning Tuesday was really cool because it was somebody different, especially with his family owning the event. So definitely a hometown win. And, it was the guys like Larson and CV and Axsom that Bell are always good inside that building. And it was really cool to see Axsom, finally get that win. He's won multiple Golden Drillers in the micros, so it was cool to see a Chili Bowl win. So, man, we have to talk about the Swindell cars because all four locked in. Jet Barnes put people on notice. 14 years old. Just talk about that.
I had no idea who Jet Barnes was, and it seemed like, I've only done this event twice, but it does kind of seem like there's going to be that story every year. Like, I mean, Corbin Ruschenberg, who we just had on, he was kind of that guy last year, and then he's put it in the show 2 years in a row. But, Justin Grant and those guys showing Jet Barnes had a shotgun right before he went on stage for driver intros. Like that was pretty wicked. And then, yeah, he had a great run going. And then I didn't see what happened. I guess mechanical problems. I still haven't gone back and watched the race, but man, good for that kid. He earned a lot of fans and yeah, kind of served notice that he's going to be around and going to be a threat.
Another one of our guys who have to give a shout out is the one you're wearing the hat, and that's Wout Hoffman's,
Yeah.
all the way from the Netherlands. He's been living in Texas now. He's getting a little bit more Americanized, but man, we were pumped to see him. His family was super emotional. I know they appreciated, having him on our podcast and everything, and having our logo on our car, on his car, and making the show is just an accomplishment in himself. And hanging out with him before the A man was really cool. He's just, hanging around all these, superstars, and he's just got a big smile on his face, like, hey, I might as well just go out and win the thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That was, we want to thank Wout for allowing us to put our logo on his car. One of the best looking cars in the pits too. That thing was beautiful, and I couldn't rush out of the infield and rush to his pit fast enough after he got into the show with the last transfer spot on Saturday, and his parents were in tears. He was in tears. His crew, his family, like everyone coming up to him and hugging him, and myself included. I was so happy for him. I know he had a rough go at the shootout. A lot of people saying some pretty nasty things about him. We were actually talking to him about that. He was telling us some of the stuff that people were saying online, and good for him to just laugh it off. But then he turns around and he was one of the best cars all week consistently. passed a ton of cars in his qualifier and his heat race to put himself on the front row for the A main. Good for Wout, man. It was a cool story. And the lone guy walking around driver intros carrying the Dutch flag all by himself, and he did his country really proud.
And speaking of really nice looking race cars, Welts was one of them. But 407 record entries entered, and the pits was filled up not only with cars but with people. Record crowd. You couldn't walk through the pit area without rubbing elbows with NASCAR drivers and dirt legends. It was absolutely insane. So, looking through the field, what were some of your favorite cars that you saw? I know my favorite was Brady Bacon's. It
Yeah.
looked like absolute jewelry in person with the chrome. So, any cars that stood out to you, Sean?
Some of my favorite cars were ones that I've already seen before. Like I love Ty Gibbs's Monster Energy drink car. I did love Danny Sam's and Max Adams cars for Corey Motorsports. They were the exact same as last year, but just the white and the chrome just really looks good. Tanner Thorson's team, they always bring a nice looking car. I'm struggling to pick out one. There was the red 22. You're putting me on the spot. I can't remember who the driver was, but it had the gold leaf sponsor and number. I think that was my favorite. You might have it in front of you. I can't think of who the driver was though.
Yeah, I can't remember the driver either, but he did win the best appearing on his prelims. So, yeah, it was the
Yeah.
red and gold car. And I have to agree that was really cool. And even the Annette 27 with the black and the bright orange and the gold leaf, like I'm always a sucker for gold leaf. So,
Yeah.
anytime I see that, it's definitely one of the favorites. So, yeah, it was awesome experience. What were some of the things, outside of the Chili Bowl that we got to experience that were some of your favorites?
Well, I mean, for anyone who's ever done photography or media at an event, like you don't have a whole lot of time to go outside and experience. Um, but I did take some time. I did do the Center of the Universe thing downtown Tulsa. If anyone's ever experienced that, it's really hard to explain. But we did do that. You can just Google Center of the Universe and you'll see some videos about that. But just walking around the pits and hanging out with guys who like aren't racing that day and they can have more of a just a relaxed chat with you. We're a big fans of the Torgerson family, hanging out with those guys quite a bit. Cy Lynch. You got to go to the Hard Rock Casino a couple of times and experience that. That's sort of the go-to thing for people in Tulsa to do after the races. We got to get there when the country bar. Well, you got to experience the country bar. I didn't. We went there what 2 or 3 times and the country bar wasn't open, so that was disappointing.
Yeah, I was a little bit sad that you had to leave right after the A man. And shout out to your dad as well. It was cool seeing him and hanging out with the Dykstras and everybody there. Getting to know Dodge Colbert too. And Dodge lives in the same state as me, and I hardly ever get to really see him much. So that was cool to hang out and get to know him better too. So yeah, Hard Rock was really a lot of fun. Didn't lose too much over on the slot machine. But no, I think Wednesday night was probably my favorite going to Lenny's just because seeing all the people that showed up right after. I mean, this is, just some little hole in the wall place in a plaza. I thought it was a Motel 6 or something. And then all of a sudden we got, Tyler Courtney and we got the whole Ryan Bold crew showing up. We got Wikipedia. We got Logan Seavey singing karaoke. Matt Ward singing karaoke. Like it was just a good old time, hanging out with Cy Lynch, him telling a bunch of stories. It was just really cool seeing all the people come and hang out and, NASCAR guys like Taylor Gray showing up and, seeing all the pictures on the wall too. Like you didn't expect that like place to be covered in Chili Bowl, memorabilia. So I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, I made the comment to a couple of the officials, the safety officials. Shout out to them too, because like anyone watching, the cars aren't even stopped on the track, and they're running out like ducking and dodging cars to get to whoever's wrecked, just to make sure that they're okay. They're incredible, and I was talking to a couple of them who are local, like from Tulsa, and just telling them like, man, you guys should be really proud of the event that your city puts on. Top to bottom, it's incredible. If you've never been, you really have to go. Even if like midget racing like isn't your thing, it's just so much more than that. Just the mingling you get to do, rubbing elbows and shoulders with some of racing's best, and you just really get to know and talk to these guys away from really the pressure of their day-to-day lives. Um, some of these guys like Logan Seavey and Justin Grant and these guys, like, they expect to win or want to win the Chili Bowl every year. But for, I would say, 360, 370 of these guys, it really is like a vacation where they get to do something different. And it's a really cool atmosphere. The building is electric, especially on Saturday. You can kind of see through the week it gets busier and busier. Although this year, I happened to notice like it was like basically sold out every single night, which wasn't the case last year, and certainly like 5, 10 years ago, where you could go on a Tuesday or Wednesday and there's nothing but empty seats. Um, so I've already been, but I'm curious, Jacob, this was your first time. Did it meet your expectations?
Definitely, and even further than what I thought it was going to be. Just the pure electricity of the crowd and seeing how many people from not only from my country, but your country, from England, from the Netherlands, Australia. Like it's a big international event. So it's really cool walking by and you hear somebody with an accent
Yeah,
next to somebody with a country accent. So it's like everybody's under one building. And I think the part is like, with social media, it's really easy for people to just sit on their couch and like make opinions based on something, just what they see on their TV screen without actually like experiencing it. And I've always watched it on my TV, but I've never been able to, experience it till now. And I don't think anybody should have any negative things to say other than it's a long week and a lot of people get sick and from the, the fumes and all that. But I mean, I think anybody that ever experiences will say, "Oh wow, like I definitely like this event. I need to go here every single year." Like everybody I talk to, you're like, "Oh, you're hooked now. You're gonna be like,
yeah.
it's gonna be like a drug. You're gonna be coming back every single year," and I can see why. So definitely far past my expectations. Definitely looking forward to next year, and I think I'm spoiled that first year I get to go and I'm down in Enfield. Shaking hands with Kenny Wallace and talking about racing and stuff. I mean, seeing my idol Tony Stewart, who I grew up as the Grand Marshal, like it was just super cool.
Yeah, and one thing I don't want to forget to mention, Darren Nida, before we wrap up. You know what? Good for him. Like, what a nice guy. He doesn't really say a whole lot. Like, you go to talk to him, but he's such a nice kid. And for him to have that moment, and it's like, going through 9 mains. I'm sure he didn't want to be buried that deep in the soup on Saturday, but he made the most of it, and he had the entire crowd cheering for him all day. And there's people that are going to be buying Darren Nida merch all through 2026 when they get to see him run, and just couldn't be happier for the guy. And they do the Parade of States. He's the only guy from Michigan who's going around waving the Michigan flag. So I just went up to him and congratulated him. I just said, man, like, good for you, dude. Like, so proud of him. And sorry, who was the guy in the 14?
Mac Leopard.
Yeah, Mac Leopard. Another guy that I don't get to see race a whole lot, but he put on a show too, was maybe a little overshadowed by Darren just based on Darren driving the three-cylinder car. But yeah, that was really cool to be a part of that, because that didn't really happen last year. Anybody kind of going that, like, even really close to that far. And you could just hear and feel the crowd building and building after every race that Darren Nida was in. And it was so cool to see that.
Yeah, shout out to Darren Nida, Mac Leopard, and even Jace Park running
Yeah.
for Gold Stars there. They had some great runs, all young guys, definitely future stars of the sport, running for great guys like Mac Leopard with Chase McDermott. Those guys were busy. Great looking race stars, too. Steven Snyder Jr., a guy we thought was going to shock the world this year, had problems, got taken out in that wreck with Gavin Miller, and we hope Gavin's recovering from his injuries.
Mhm.
But watching the Chase McDermott crew get to work on Steven Snyder Jr. and get him back out was super cool to see, and hats off to those guys. So
Yeah, and Jesse Love too. That was really tough because, man, he was so impressive. And I didn't know he. I mean, I don't know how much dirt experience the guy even has, but he had a lot of people taking notice, myself included. Like, here's this asphalt guy coming in and whooping a lot of people, and it's a shame that he didn't get to run on Saturday, because I really wanted to see what he could do under the bright lights of Saturday.
And before we have Colby join us, I know it was kind of cool. The next morning, I had to wake up for my early flight, get to Tulsa Airport, and well, who's sitting at the little airport lounge by himself in a gray hoodie, bloodshot eyes, eating a muffin? Emerson Axsom, the Chili Bowl champ. Rewatching the race from the previous night, it was his first time actually seeing what happened. Obviously, he wasn't very talkative, and for understandable reasons, but talked to him a little bit. Didn't want to bother him, but I congratulated him, and he was actually going to be on my flight back to Florida here to go test his 410 at Volusia, which is pretty cool. Guy just wins the biggest dirt race of his career, and next morning he's back at it racing his 410 sprint car. So shout out to Axsom, and also seeing Darren Nida and his family at the airport too, which is cool. I'm like, geez, I'm going to be on a flight with a bunch of celebrities here.
Yeah.
Even Judge Colbert going back to Florida too. It was definitely a sketchy flight, but I'm glad we were able to land, and none of us were any injured going into the rest of this year. So looking forward to having Colby on. And Shaun, I know we got some plans coming up here. I'm going to be at Volusia this week with the Sunshine Nationals, and then I get to see you in about a week.
Yeah, the grind is about to start, especially for you. So you're doing the Sunshine Nationals this weekend, which will be really cool. I'm flying into Orlando next Wednesday. We're going to check out the ASCS for 3 nights at Volusia. We got a couple Canadian guys going down. I haven't confirmed if DJ Christie and I know Tyler Pallas is going and Ryan Turner's going. So at this point, I'm not sure who the other Canadian drivers are. Our buddy Jordan Thomas is going to be there, which is going to be really cool. And then we get into the World of Outlaws, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars for 4 nights. We got the big blocks, the late models, and a trip to New Smyrna, which I'm really excited about. I don't get to a lot of asphalt late model races, but that 200 lap ASA race, I think it is 200 laps. And that's going to be really cool. So really looking forward to the trip, man, and hope you don't get sick of me.
Yeah, I was just saying today, knock on wood, we don't have the Chili Bowl flu so far. And wanted to give a shout out to Race Pro Weekly for allowing us to be at the track, and Dylan Terry up there. He's been texting me, with the negative 40-degree Fahrenheit wind chill, and he's jealous of me being down here in Florida and of you, Shaun, coming down here. So hopefully we make the most of it, get a lot of cool videos and photos and articles up. And we appreciate everyone for the support on our Facebook. Man, it's been absolutely crazy how much views and followers we've been getting.
I was going to mention that too. Glad you reminded me. Our Facebook, and thanks everyone for checking it out and interacting with us. Just in the last month, we're at 1.7 million views on our Facebook page, which is insane. So thanks to everyone who's liking and commenting and sharing our content. We had a blast at Chili Bowl. We really hope to do it again next year. And thanks for your support, because it really means the world. Our followers are going through the roof too. So it's just really exciting and keeps us motivated and wanted to keep doing this.
Yeah, and if you're watching this and going to be racing during Speed Weeks, make sure to hit us up on our socials if you want media content and coverage, and we'd be happy to do some stuff for you. But we're looking forward to talking with Colby right after this message.
After the Scales is proudly presented by DJD Graphics. From commercial and personal vehicles to racing bikes and cars of all makes, models, and disciplines, DJD Graphics can fully customize your vehicle to suit your needs. For more information, contact Darren and visit his website at www.djdgraphics.com. Tell him Shaun and Jacob sent you to receive special rates.
Colby Copeland out of Roseville, California, joining us. Colby, thanks for coming on. I know you're a busy guy there with your family.
Yeah, no worries. No, I'm glad I could make it on here with you guys.
So for the people just joining to watch this, Colby is on a bike with his kids there, which is definitely a first for After the Scales. We got some extra guests there. That's just pretty fun. But Colby, you're coming off the Chili Bowl Nationals. We were just there watching this past week. Incredible week of racing. Just kind of recap from your standpoint, returning again this year with Matt Wood Racing. Those cars are always fast inside the Tulsa Expo Center.
Yeah, no, I had a pretty sour, I guess it would be 2025 Chili Bowl performance. So just put a little extra focus and effort into this year to at least try and make the feature, which I think that's kind of everybody's goal going there, His first step is to make that feature on the final night, and then obviously have a good run on Saturday is another part of the goal. But that Matt Wood Racing team, it just brings incredible cars every year, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a pretty simple, I guess, procedure as far as just bringing the cars out the 1 or 2 times I think we do Placerville and then Chili Bowl. So bring them out a couple of times a year, and they always seem to go good. So it makes it a lot of fun to be there.
Yeah, so Colby, this was my second Chili Bowl. This was Jacob's first, and it's become easily my favorite event to get to, just as a fan spectator. But I imagine driving for one of the top teams, there's quite a bit of pressure on you guys. I know going into Saturday, I don't even think there was a Keith Kunz car that was locked in until Saturday. So talk about the team that you're with and how much pressure is maybe on you guys to perform.
Yeah, I think when this first thing the whole thing started, I don't think there was a ton of pressure, but I think we've kind of done it to ourselves as far as just having good year after good year after good year with these guys. The team that Matt Wood and Shane Golovic have built have just become one of the top 5 teams in the building, I guess you could say. Fair to say. There may be, uh, 1 or 2 or 3 teams at the moment, I guess. But to be a top 5 team out of the 400, I think that we just go there with expectations now to, make that feature and then hopefully run up in the front.
So I'm in Florida, and Sean's in Canada, so we don't really get to watch you race a lot. You being a West Coast sprint car driver, so kind of tell our viewers your background in racing. I know between you and Shane and Ryan, those NOS guys out there are focused around those dirt tracks, and kind of your background and what's led you today with your racing career.
Yeah, I've mainly just done the wing sprint car stuff. I guess it's been 4 seasons now. It's gone by fast. Have taken over Silver Dollar Speedway with Brad Sweet and Kyle Larson, the SLC Sweet Larson Copeland promotions group. We've taken over Silver Dollar and just put a lot of focus on that and effort, and it seems to be going well. And then the little bit of racing I get to do, 20 or 30 times throughout the season as well, just up and down California, West Coast.
Go, Dad.
It's made it worth going to Washington now. What John Hager and Kevin Rudine have done up there with Skagit, and so we like to go up to Washington as well and support those guys. So that's kind of it, just up and down the West Coast, and then I normally do a camping trip. I've got to race a few different times. I did the 360 Nationals at Knoxville there, but it's more of a camping trip that I do in Knoxville every year. And then Chili Bowl in Tulsa, Oklahoma is about all the traveling I do outside the West Coast.
Yeah, and you had some pretty big news this year with the Tarlton team. How did that come about?
Yeah, I've always been good friends with those guys, Drew Warner and Carson Macedo, and then obviously Tommy Tarlton. And the seat kind of opened up there with Tanner Holmes going full-time high limit racing, and then McFadden not being able to make all the races. So they had some races open up, and I just had been in contact with Drew, and him and I kind of put a deal together. And so I'm going to get to do, I think it's about a dozen races or so with those guys. So I'm really excited to be in a top tier car with those guys. And then I have a decent amount of races also with that 7C, Cody and Mandy Gainey that I ran at Trophy Cup. We had a decent run there at Trophy Cup, and they want to do some racing next year as well. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine, knocking out some wins with the Tarleton 21, because we've seen it with James McFadden and Tanner Holmes last year. We've seen even Spencer Basin get behind the wheel there and be really competitive. I have to imagine, you're really excited to probably run up front and compete for wins. So is that your goal next year, is really just compete for wins? Is there anything that you have marked on your list that you're really looking forward to that might be out of the ordinary?
Yeah, I mean, every time you go, definitely with the 21, we're not competing in any kind of point series. So every time we go. I know those guys have super high expectations just because of the results that they've had from before. So there is some pressure there, but yeah, we definitely want to win and I think build a lot of success and momentum for those guys. So when James gets here from Australia, they're headed in the right direction and have a good piece for him.
Right, I wanted to circle back to Chili Bowl for a second because that was some of the best racing I've ever seen, and it seemed to me just every night it got better and better. How much were you paying attention every night that you weren't racing, and what did you think overall of the shows that were put on?
Yeah, no, I thought the racing was spectacular every night. I think maybe Monday was a little bit tough on the track just because of the Race of Champions. It kind of seemed like it just kind of got single file there around the top. So maybe Monday wasn't as great. But Tuesday on through, I thought was great racing. But it was tough because the track was so different every night. I felt like I walked the track after the feature every night, and Tuesday they're running 4 above the curb all the way around nice and smooth, and then you get to my night and it's like so technical, curved up big time. So it was you try and watch to learn something, but I feel like the track changed every night.
And obviously, with the Chili Bowl being the presenting sponsor with NOS Energy Drink, talk about that relationship. Obviously, Lauren Albano does a great job with the marketing, and all the Team NOS drivers. It's hard not to see a blue and orange NOS car out there, and even my buddy co-host Sean here made a cool NOS Energy calendar with year one of the months on there. So, just kind of talk about that relationship and how that came about.
Yeah, I think NOS is just a huge support to the sport in all aspects, different divisions, and they've done a great job on getting their name out there in the dirt world and just supporting the whole thing. So my deal with NOS, I don't know how long it's been, maybe 8 or 9 years. I feel like it's gone by fast. I'm good buddies with Stenhouse, and I just needed a little bit of help for a Chili Bowl sponsor one year, and just kind of did with Ricky, and he had some ideas and kind of ran it by Lauren, and she just was able to help me out, and then kind of just stuck from there, and we've been going ever since.
Yeah, and those Moss does a great job of promoting you guys, and they do those racing challenges and stuff. How much fun is that for you guys?
Yep. No, they're a great time. They're a lot of fun when we all get together. We it's something different. We go up and they don't really give us too much detail, so we kind of show up not knowing what's going to happen. But all of them that we've done have been great, a lot of fun, and just something completely different, from racing the slug bugs at Irwindale to the F4 cars there in Arizona. They've all been a lot of fun.
And I know you got a pretty sweet deal for this year, but kind of looking forward to the future, maybe a couple years from now. I know we asked Ryan Burnell when we had him on the podcast here the same question, and he's got a family, he's got a regular job, so he's not really looking to go on a national touring series and go run with the World of Outlaws or High Limit. But where do you see yourself a couple years from now? Are you continue to be a West Coast guy, or do you have any aspirations to maybe make a big jump and try to do something even more with your racing career?
Yeah, I think probably along the lines of from what he said, just being a West Coast guy with a family, it just makes sense to stay and race around here, and it makes it tough to do too much traveling, obviously with a family, but all the money that the West Coast is putting up between Skagit and Dirt Cup, and then Gold Cup, Trophy Cup, and then everything else in between, Mini Gold Cup, the Bradway Memorial, the Johnny Key. I mean, there's a lot of decent paying races out here on the West Coast. So, I mean, it makes it tough to want to leave and go somewhere else.
So what's next on the calendar for you? We're still at kind of mid to late January. What do you have coming up next?
So, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Outlaw carts. That's kind of what that's what I grew up racing. So I still have a good buddy that I drive his cart maybe 2 or 3 times a year, and we have a outlaw kart race coming up first weekend in February that pays really good. I think, if you win everything, I think you can win like 20 grand, but just to win the final night is 10 grand for a go-kart race, which is really good. So I have that next. That's in a couple weeks. And then I think 2 weeks after that, I'm going to do the 2-day show down in Arizona, the ASCS 360 down there at Central Arizona Speedway. And then that'll lead right into the first NARC race last weekend in February with the 21.
Perfect.
Well, we really appreciate your time, Colby. I know you're
the Arizona race will be with the 7C, and then the NARC race will be with the 21.
we really appreciate your time, Colby. Obviously, you're busy there with your family. I know it's important to spend some time with the kids, especially after a long week at Tulsa. So before we let you go, we do have our DJD Gear Rapid Fire segment where I'm going to ask you 10 questions just to get to know you better, and you just come up with the first answer.
Perfect.
All right, the first one is pretty simple. What's the favorite NOS flavor for you?
I'm going to say zero sugar.
And out of the NOS energy drink challenges, which one did you enjoy the most?
I'm going to say the F4 cars down in Arizona. That was pretty fun. A cool experience.
What's your favorite place to hang out in Roseville, California?
The golf course.
And what's your favorite California sports team?
I guess from where I live, it would have to be the Sacramento Kings.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah, yeah, they struggle. Light the beam.
Is there any song that pumps you up on race day?
I don't know. I don't know that there's any song that pumps me up. I seem to be a big Morgan Wallen fan. He puts out some pretty good stuff.
And if you could race at one racetrack the rest of your career, which would it be?
Oh, I guess it's got to be Silver Dollar Speedway, right?
Good choice.
And what race car would you like to try that you haven't yet?
I guess maybe a cup car. That would be kind of fun to try that just one time.
And do you have like a hidden talent that race fans might not know about?
I mean, I don't know about any hidden talents. I'm decent at golf, and then there's a group of us, pretty much our whole Chili Bowl team, it seems like, and then some other guys. We all play slow pitch softball on Tuesday nights that we all go pretty good at.
I was going to say another hidden talent is doing a podcast while riding a bike with your kids.
Yeah, there you go.
So which Team NOS teammate is the toughest to race against, in your opinion?
Like roughest or like fastest, or what do you?
Just the guy that always seems to you're trying to pass him and he's really hard to pass. Like, I don't know if Gallbeck or Bernal's a guy that gives you a hard time.
I would say Justin Grant. Yeah, I would say Justin Grant.
All right, and the last one for you is, if you ever won the Chili Bowl Nationals, how would you celebrate?
Well, we would definitely have to until Monday. We wouldn't be able to go home on Sunday, I don't think. But we would. I'm sure I could come up with something cool. Some kind of NFL celebration like those guys do, their little dance, or some kind of team thing like that. I think that would be kind of fun.
Well, we appreciate Colby, and I know you want to get back to spending time with your family. So thanks for taking time with us, and we wish you the best of luck with the Tarlton 21 team and all the other events you got going on for 2026.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks to you guys for having me on, and I do apologize for not being a little more prepared here.
You're all good. Makes it more interesting, that's for sure.
There you go. There you go. Cool. Well, sounds good. Thank you guys.
All right. Thanks.